weather again today, right after all that crazy fireworks yesterday, huh? It was kind of entertaining anyways. And what's going on today? How about this one? Apparently there's going to be a deal, I guess, between the US and India to make, I guess, predator drones per se. This one says, US offers consultancy to India to build advanced drones under predator deal. This might be in line with that consistent news I read where in India they wanted to try to become leaders in the drone space. It says amid ongoing negotiations for the acquisition of 31 predator drones, the United States has proposed to provide consultancy services to India for developing advanced unmanned aerial vehicles with enhanced surveillance and reconnaissance capabilities, officials said on Saturday. Notably, India and the US have been in talks to finalize the deal, which aims to equip all three branches of the Indian Armed Forces with state-of-the-art drones to bolster surveillance and domain awareness. Of the 31 Predator drones, the Navy will get 15 birds and Air Force and Army will be getting 8 each. According to the defense sources, the Defense Acquisition Council is expected to discuss and possibly clear the proposal in a high-level meeting scheduled for Monday. It makes me wonder if the purchases were partly due to build relationships per se, I guess, to further do stuff like this. It says the advancement is anticipated to significantly enhance India's surveillance capabilities in the Indian Ocean region and along its high-altitude mountain borders with Pakistan and China. India and the US had previously announced plans to sign a $4 billion deal for 31 high-altitude long-endurance UAVs during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's state visit to the US last year. Defense Ministry officials have disclosed that the Indian Armed Forces are planning to equip these Predator drones with indigenous weapons during their assembly in India. Navy Chief Admiral R. Hari Kumar has also indicated that the integration of the Indian weapon systems with these drones is under consideration. Well, I guess they're going along with their goal, I guess, in terms of becoming a leader in this space if they keep this up anyways. And this was kind of an interesting read as well, where for a lot of recreational flyers, they have a difficult time finding places to fly just to stay, quote, legal and all that. So how about this one? It seems like people were trying to do something about it in terms of creating things like a drone park per se, which I've actually heard of before. This one says, volunteer hours make drone park dream a reality. The Mira Vista Rodeo Grounds encompasses a wide swath of land on the west side of town, including 33 acres dedicated to the Mountain West UAS Drone Training Park. The park includes 4 courses: the racing course, the qualification course, the flight deck, and the obstacle course. The park, while still in progress, has seen more than $26,000 in donated funds and nearly 600 hours of donated time. MWUAS Treasurer Dennis Heap says that many of those hours came from Al Simpson, the group's secretary. I've been in town for about 10 years now, Simpson said. I wanted to get involved with drones, and that was 5 years ago. Now, in a lot of cases with these flying fields around the world anyways, many times people often say, for example, no flying this or that. For example, there are model aircraft places that ban things like drones, and at the same time they charge people money for it. But how about this one? It says here, quote, it's open all the time to the public. Anybody can use it anytime, day or night, he said. There aren't any restrictions for flying, even though the airport's down the road. It's not only for recreation, but it's also for people that use it for work. One thing we just put out there was at some waypoints, black and white concrete rounds that we use for the calibration and geomapping, search and rescue folks come out and use it for practice. So that's kind of cool, actually, being able to do virtually almost anything, I guess. Too bad you don't see more stuff like this around the world, as usually when you hear about this stuff, it's more about people just wanting to make money or make it their own little exclusive thing, saying, ha, we can do this and you can't. So hopefully you'll see more stuff like this in the future, I guess. And this was a piece of news that was going around a lot, where apparently there was an introduction, I guess, presentation in this year's Olympics that got people really upset. Like it says here, Paris organizers are sorry if the Olympic Last Supper parody and Olympic opening ceremony offended you. So you can see the picture yourself first. It seems like, I suppose, in this presentation, there's a lot of, I guess, different, quote, variety of people, if that's what you want to say. But some people are saying this was a direct, I guess, quote, parody of the Last Supper. And it says here, Paris Olympics organizers apologized Sunday to anyone who was offended by a tableau that evoked Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper during the glamorous opening ceremony. Da Vinci's painting depicts the moment when Jesus Christ declared that an apostle would betray him. The scene during Friday's ceremony featured DJ and producer Barbara Butch in an LGBTQ plus icon flanked by drag artists and dancers. So you can imagine this made a lot of people upset, for example, where apparently there were actually sponsors that pulled out of the Olympics because of that as well. I guess with my thought, I'd be wondering, was that actually the intent, or this was done as a parody per se? Because it says here, the ceremony's artistic director, Thomas Jolly, said it was meant to celebrate diversity and pay tribute to feasting and French gastronomy. Paris 2024 spokesperson Anne Descamps was asked about the outcry during an International Olympic Committee news conference on Sunday, saying, quote, "Clearly there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group. On the contrary, I think, Thomas Jolly, we really did try to celebrate community tolerance." Descamps said, "Looking at the result of the polls that we shared, we believe that this ambition was achieved. If people have taken any offenses, we are, of course, really sorry." So what would you think about this? I don't know, I was kind of confused when I was looking at it at first. Let's just assume it isn't a parody and all that. What does this have to do with, I guess, high level athleticism, for example, in terms of competing in the Olympics? Because funny enough, with this topic of diversity and inclusion, one of the talking points for many people is how when it comes to things like sports, you're not going to bring in someone just because they're different, if that makes sense. They have to be able to actually, I guess, be good at the sport. Can you imagine, for example, if you brought the person that was overweight as your main star for the track and field competition? No one would do that, correct? So I don't see how this presentation actually fits the theme of the Olympics and all that. But at the same time, I guess for some people, like they say, they basically praise it and so forth. I don't know, to me it's confusing just from that standpoint in terms of representing athleticism, for example, when it comes to the Olympics. All right, see you guys later. bye.